Hey, this is Joseph with Sonder Games. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Perception Neuron to Unreal Engine 4 Avatar that our team has been working on the last couple months. We'll go over where you can buy it, what's included with it, then how to import animations onto that skeleton inside of Unreal, and then from there how to retarget from our skeleton onto your own skeleton. So first off, where to buy. If you go to sondergames.com and go to the shop tab, you can see the product here. After you purchase, you'll be able to download a README file, which will have the link to the Dropbox where you can actually download the zipped or the compressed folder with all the assets, as well as the link to this tutorial. Inside of the folder, you'll be able to find the maps for the skeleton, the skeletal mesh, as well as a material, and you can import all of those into your own project. So we'll take a look at how to do that now. So if you open up a blank project and just drag everything from there into your new project or the current project that you're working on. We're going to want to import it as a skeletal. We want to import the mesh, and we'll create a new skeleton. Then go down, make sure you've selected import normals and tangents. We're not importing any animations, and we're going to keep the transform the same. We do want to import materials and textures, and just hit import all. If you get any errors like this, just hit yes to all. It's just overriding any previous texture that you had at the same location, which you shouldn't have any if you're in a new folder like we are now. Then we'll just fix up the material real quick. So it's got the diffuse and the normal, so we'll just add in the occlusion, pack texture, and the emissive. Now in the included texture for the occlusion, roughness, and metallic, you can see, following the naming conventions, we've labeled it ORM. So the red channel is going to be your ambient occlusion, green's roughness, and blue is metallic. If you take the emissive texture, and we'll give it a little boost real quick, let's say 30, plug that into your emissive, and we should all be set up now. Now we'll go back and look at the actual skeletal mesh that we've imported, and it looks pretty good. Okay, taking a look at the skeleton for our avatar, you can see that it's set up in a certain way to import animations. So if we wanted to take a look in Axis Neuron right now, and we'll use the default animations that come with Axis Neuron, just so you can see that it works with the animations you already have in your own software. And I'll find the shortest one that actually uses finger animations, which is going to be this 29 North in Tristan's office. Yeah, we can play it right now. And you can see that there's nothing too crazy going on with the fingers, and that should import well. There's no strange stretching that would give us issues. Okay, looks pretty good. So we'll find this one. And just import it into an Unreal. Oops. The FBX. That's strange. Oh, I see. First we'll go ahead and export it from Axis Neuron. And we can export it as a binary to save a little bit of room. There we go. Now if we go back, we should be able to see the FBX file. Here it is. And we'll take that and import it into Unreal. We want to find the skeleton that we've imported, and it should be skeletal Avatar version 05. The actual asset that you get will be named a little bit differently, but you should still be able to find it through the folder that you've put everything into. It'll be the only skeleton. Now if we take a look at the animation, you're going to see that coming straight from Axis Neuron software, it's rotated negative 90 degrees on the x-axis. So we just want to rotate it back by typing in 90 for the import rotation. Now we'll go ahead and save that and then re-import. And the errors that we're getting are just because all of these are the end pieces and don't actually contain any of the animation data. And that looks pretty good. It lined up well. And at this stage, any animation that you create inside of Axis Neuron, you can export it and dump it straight into the model that you've purchased. If that's not enough though, and you want to continue to retarget to one of your own skeletons, maybe something that you're using for your current project, then we'll take a look at that now. So for retargeting, first what you're going to want to do is find whichever skeleton you want to retarget to. So in this case we're going to be retargeting to the Maximo Atom skeletal mesh, or skeleton. So we'll take a look at his skeleton here. And you can see that there's a fairly substantial difference between the two skeletons. Actually, these look pretty similar, besides the multiple spine segments. If we took a look at one of the other characters though, like yeah, in this case you can see there's a pretty large difference, starting with the root reference node and then going to the hips from there, whereas we're just starting with the hips. So we'll take a look at how to retarget from both of these. So first off, you want to go into the retarget manager, and in later versions, I think it's starting with 4.13, you should have a auto mapping, which will work for some cases. Normally when you have a root bone inside of your hierarchy for whatever skeleton you're using, you can auto map from there. But in this case we don't, we're starting at hips, so you'll probably need to do all these manually. So you just go down, and pelvis is going to be hips, spine, spine 1, spine 2, working up through the hierarchy. And then into advanced, index 1, index 2, and index 3. Index 4 is going to be the end node, or the end bones, so you don't need to worry about those. And just continue going down through here and plugging them all in. I'd recommend checking twice. Once you finish going through, just go back up. And our most common mistake is having just like a left hand randomly in one of these in the right, or like right in the left. So I would just check that twice. So from there you want to save it, and we'll go back and take a look at our avatar. So we need to set up the rig as well. So we'll go to a humanoid rig. And now we'll actually run through all this in real time. So it's going to be hips for pelvis, spine, spine 1, we'll skip spine 2, and then spine 3, left shoulder, and go to make this full screen. So now going through the advanced parts, so all the different parts of the finger. Starting off with index, skip the index without a number at the end. We'll start at 1, and then 2. I messed all those up. And these aren't really necessary, but you just play it safe and throw them in. So the left ball is going to be the left toe base, and the right ball is going to be the right toe base. And now that we've finished that, we're going to go back through and check it just to make sure everything looks good. 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. And if you mess up something here, you could end up with really weird artifacts, like one of the eyeballs being on the left thumb or something. So it's always good to check these. Okay, and that looks good. So we're gonna go ahead and save it from there. And for the skeleton, we want to show advanced options, and then the hips we want to be animation scaled, and then we want to set recursively everything else to skeleton, and then we'll go ahead and save it again. Okay, now we'll get back out of those. Okay, at this point we have our skeleton set up. It's set up as a human to use the humanoid rig that Epic has provided for us, and we want to start retargeting our animation. So we can right click and just take a look at what it looks like now. If we want to retarget from ours to the Mixamo Atom skeleton, we can see there's a little bit of an issue. These need to look exactly the same to have a smooth transition of whatever animation you want to retarget. So we can see that there's something going on with the hands. Whereas the hands here seem like the thumb is separated from the rest of the hands, and ours, the hand is flat. So we're going to take a look at the base pose for our skeleton, and we can see the problem already. We'll go ahead and pull up the Atom skeleton as well. So you can see there's about a 30-degree separation of the thumb from the rest of the hands. So we're just gonna find our thumbs. Yeah, we'll take a look at that. That looks pretty close. So we'll just do the same thing on the other thumb. And when you're trying to retarget to a different skeleton, it's really going to be based on what type of skeleton you're trying to retarget to. So in this case, the thumbs were the only difference, but in a lot of cases, say if you're targeting something with an A pose, you might have to raise the arms here, lower the arms here, so that the two poses match. And that looks good. We'll change the same thing for the skeleton for Atom, which we already have, so that looks good. Okay, so now we'll go back and try to retarget one more time. And and make sure once you finish changing the base pose for retargeting, you go into the retarget manager and at the bottom right hit save pose. And you'll see once you hit save pose, it goes back to the original base pose. But you can always view the current pose that you're using for retargeting by hitting view pose, just like that. Now when we go back and we try to retarget, we can see the change in the thumbs. And if we look at the atom, you can see it's pretty similar. So we'll just change where we're going to retarget to into the same folder and go in and retarget it. And there you go. You can always tweak it more to make, if you have some issues with, it's normally with the fingers that you're going to have issues. But if you see any issues, you can always just tweak the base pose that you want to retarget from a little bit more to get a smoother transition into that retarget. And we'll take a look real quick. Looks pretty good. So there's going to be a link in this video where you can find this asset. If you have any questions, you can also find on our website, our contact, the team at sondergames.com, or you can just leave a comment under this video. So thanks for watching.